Okay, all you devils, I'm back for round two here. Oh, as I mentioned and told you guys in the note in the Discord here, I think if these go too long, I think it gets, I don't think we lose effectiveness there. So when about an hour, I think is about as much as is worthwhile here. And I am assuming that the majority of people, whether members or YouTube subs, fast forward to the asset they're interested in. But the production side of it gets 1 hour. It takes about 3 hours to produce. And if they go over an hour, oh my God, do they take, to render and upload, that can be another hour. So anyway, so here I'm rambling on. We're going to start here with Apple here. Now this was CN Salazar had this request yesterday, and kind of made me curious to get a handle on this count here, as we've had some, well, let's call it volatility. That's what the talking heads always say. We're experiencing volatility, right? As opposed to market is cratering. Well, are we cratering? Now, take note here. Now, we're in log scale, so it distorts to your eye. So it doesn't look like we are. And, we're going to dig into this count, right? Do we really need to be thinking about Apple putting in a major cyclical top here? Well, I'm not ready to go there yet. Right? There's no reason to, right? Let's let the technicals dictate rather than, something you heard on CNBC or Bloomberg. Okay, so as we sit here now, to get a handle on Apple, you really need the full history, right? And it's almost impossible to count out of log. So if we think about the scale, hang on. Never a video that I don't forget to turn those ninja alerts off. Well, you got to look log scale here, and to get a handle on the count, I would say, let's say it that way. Now, when we get down to the hard right edge here, we may be able to get the range reduced, and we'll come out of log scale. But right now, I think to get the big picture, right, which is kind of the idea. Well, okay, pretty good looking one wave here. Yes, it's a diag, but the structure of the 5 is. My guess is that wouldn't be in dispute. And then, we could complicate this, but at the end of the day, it's just a 3. Now, from that 3, as we correct the first 5, 5s and 3s, right? That's the genius of Elliott. Well, look at this beautiful. Well, I had another genius in here, Dr. Alan Andrews. So look here. We get our impulse. We get our correction. Right? We know highest odds on the board, any asset, period, right? Highest odds trade there is, right? 80%, if this pivot holds, 80% probability we get to that median line. Now here, we just miss it. You don't actually tag it until right there. It's the kind of thing, right? I can't make this up, right? It's just, I teach it, preach it, tell you guys over and over again, but when it's right in your face there, the next time, right? Pretty significant swing like this, you might give that a run. I don't know. I've shown it so many times. It's astonishing to me that I don't get charts every day saying, "Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, I did it here, over here, it worked." Don't ignore it, right? Don't think, it only worked in 2003 to 2007. That 4-year impulse, yeah, that got there, but it's not going to work now. Right. Oh, you had to be there then. Right. There's a kind of a tendency to think, it worked then, but it's not going to work now. Careful of that thinking. Okay. So again, over here now we're very compressed because we're in log scale, but you got to get the handle on the larger count. So if this is a 1-2, well, what's next? Another 1-2. Right. Process of elimination. This is really the only. Well, maybe I shouldn't say that. Well, this would be, I think, the most likely count that Elliotticians would agree is. Let's call it valid. Okay, so it's a 1-2, 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. All right, now why have to do all those 1-2s? Because we're struggling to get an impulse to complete here. Well, the first one, this 4-year impulse right here, this is all we got on the retrace. Not much. What did we get there? Did we even get the 38? Nope, just the 23, right? So a nice little 3 right here, prior support, right to where you might anticipate, although it's shallow. Now, of course, take it out of log scale, it's going to look a bit differently, but here we've got to evaluate in log scale. So off of this 2, well, you might think, could that be my 3? Well, to some degree, now if you're over here, right, you'd be thinking that. right, if that's all the data you have. But because we know what's come afterwards, because it keeps going, you can't be thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then you'd be thinking, oh, that's my 2 here. This is a completed impulse, right? So it's a bit of, I guess this is a interpretation. I guess there's some subjectivity to this. Oh, I suppose you could count it differently. Now, of course, if your first thought was here, okay, we're going to go 1 and we're going to go 2. Well, now, of course, log scale, right? You're not even close to long enough. But remember, 3 doesn't have to be the longest, just can't be the shortest. And now as we look, right, going beyond, so doing this analysis here, trying to get the big picture, you'd be inclined not to think 3 there. You'd be inclined to think, oh, well, it's not a 3, so another 1, 2. Okay, well, if it's a 1, 2, that's not going to be the 3. So what's right? Process of elimination. What's left? A 1, 2. That can be the 3. That can be the 4. And now we've got an extension in the 5. So again, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Now we get one that completes that makes sense. So from here we'd get 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh shit! We're still looking for that 5 to complete. Right? We're still looking for this 5th up here. Oh, let's see. Let me change that. Let me go. Oh shit! I got to go up a degree on all of these. All right, I'm going to do this here because it's kind of this is a good habit to get into. So everybody has to go up 1. Okay, so you don't lose track of which I almost did right there. Well, actually, I did. Let's be clear, I did. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I want this. Oh shit! Let's see. So I want this to go to minuet. I want this to go to subminuet, and I want okay, there we go. Then minor, then subminuet. Okay, so now I've got it. I should have done that beforehand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. We are still seeking that to finish. So now let me go from the daily here. Now I'm going to take the median lines off here. Well, let's rephrase. I'm going to hide them. So we can really focus in on this channel here, this nice channel here. I'm trying to get this parallel to this line here. So we've got a sliding parallel to the channel that's framing the 3, 4, 5 here and going 1, 2, right? Trying to get what appears to be framing this and then with the sliding parallel. So essentially just going up 50. I mean, you could clone the range, do this, or clone the channel here. It's always a little tricky when you're in log scale, so thus I will just draw one on the edge and then bump it up. So this one needs to come down just a hair. All right, so nice sliding parallel. This whole move seems to be nicely contained. 1, 2. So we got. Let's go to the 3-day here. Let's go down slowly. Okay, into the 3-day. 1, 2. If it's not 3, well, 1, 2. Right, not going to be 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Right. Keeps going, right? So you've got to accommodate that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It looks like 3 is up here. Working on 4. So I can complete. Let's go. Well, I guess we can go down to the daily here and dig in there a little bit more. It's a tricky count, right? I should have said as we started. Anyone, if you're working on this, you don't have your own count, I'd encourage you to maybe stop right now and see what you come up with if you haven't taken a swing at this. It's a tricky one. I was back and forth with Sensei James M here and see if we align, and for the most part, I think we did. He sent me a quarterly chart, which really I think simplifies it. But here coming down to the daily, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So from this 4, we're going to go 1, 2. Well, here's a completed impulse right here to give me my 3 at the sub-micro degree in blue here, in this light blue. Well, now, okay, I've got a possible. Oh shit, it could be an ABC, could be the 4, and this is a 1, 2, and we're going to go. Could be a WXY. I'd be slightly inclined to lean towards the Y, although, of course, the market's having a big day here. A couple of reasons. That's not much of a 3 in that X. Okay, so can we get, if this is a 3, right, well, we're looking for the 4. Perhaps we just use standard anticipation for wave relationships on retracements. So if we're going to go cover the 2 of the 3, well, if we're going to come down here to where's the highest probability zone for a wave 4? Right there, right? So we've already tagged the 23, got a little bounce. On a daily, if I went down to a 4-hour, there's probably a little ABC in there. And of course, the other possibility here is we can't rule this out, that we're going to have a more complex X. So we might get something like that, and then the X would go here, and then we'd come down for the Y. It's still a little early to make that assumption. So let's, for the time being, we'll put the X here and see now what are we going to get. We get an ABC down here. But I think that you got to make your own judgment here. This is, it got a little tricky here. This is, I think, the best solution here if I zoom in here for a couple of reasons. Let me bump this up here for any of you that are, approaching this out as Elliotticians. There's always a little bit of a, okay, what looks like the best fit, because this here, and I considered this, that you could have a triangle here. You could see this as the triangle, right? So A, B, C, D, E, and off we go. But I think this 1, 2 plays better. Additionally, this looks so clearly like it's a 5 that I'd be inclined to, I'd be reluctant to try and fit that into a 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So thus A, B, C. There's a beautiful impulse here to finish that C. So A, B, C into the B, and then down for the C. So we get a running flat. 3, 3, 5. Okay, 1, 2. Get a perfect impulse to finish, right? No overlap. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So now this, okay. It's possible 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, some sort of ugly diag. It's also possible we're going to do a triple here. I mean, and many times, and I would encourage you to do this if you're comfortable with Elliott, right? I mean, this could be a W, X, Y, X. We're working on a Z, right? But do you need to complicate that? Well, I don't know that you do just yet, right? So there's the basic swing structure. Okay, so we got a 3, right? Now, what's coming where? Again, here. All right, can we call this a 3? Well, I think you could make a case for this. A, B, C, right, to get you an X there. 1, 2, 3, pick your 4. 1, 2, probably 4 here, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, are we done here? What did we just do? Let's get in there, all right, because this would be a pivot we'd want to evaluate. All right, is that algo driven? Well, we got second. We're going perhaps even further. So there's exactly zero doubt whether, oh, Jesus, look at this, right? Well, of all the places where you're going to find it, I mean, there's tick to tick. Let's see if I'm tight, if I've got it just right. Yep, I think I do. So here it goes, looks like it gets it by a tick. So note here, again, not the 618, right? What's happening there? Right? People who put their stop on the 618 are getting stopped out. It tags the 65 to the tick right to the target. Then from there, right, we do a go again. You see, now this is a great example, right? For anyone who is either doesn't understand this algo and how significant it is that it moves in sequences, right? So you got to see here. I got to draw this here because this is a great example, right? So for members, you all know this. Any YouTube subs, if you're not clear on this, pay attention. Here's a perfect tag of the 50. Here's the target right here as it hits. So we're hitting. You see right here. Here's the green target. Okay. So now, of course, this has. Oh, come on. What is going on? Trading B, getting a little wonky on me. Okay. So come out of there. Okay. So we hit the first one. Then we go all the way down. We come back, golden zone. This is the one I just showed you, ticks the target. Now we come all the way back, golden zone, right? Ticks the target, right, to the tick. Now we go again, right? That'll be another one. This is, what a great example, right, of all the places where you're going to look for it, right? So again, golden zone. Do you see it, right? So here's 50, golden zone, golden zone, golden zone. Look how, see, again, how do you know it's an algo? It's not the 618. It's the target. Right, it's you can see the reaction at the targets. Right, look, tick, tick, react. Right here we get a little reaction, but this keeps going. Right, so there's a candidate there. When you see that, so that makes you think. Now let me clear this up a little bit. Okay, so let me get all these off here. Okay, 1, 2. Well, we know that because this is coming from a golden zone. Right, it's going to be very close to the 1618, 175 window. So immediately your thought is, oh, looks like I've got a candidate here. We don't know for sure, but we've got a candidate for a 1, 2, 3, working on a 4. Right, do we need to do this to come down for a 5? Well, now you're working back here. Well, I've got a candidate, right? It could also be an ABC, right? That'd be an ABC candidate, right? Let's see. So obviously we would want to wick off this 1, right? Kind of keep an eye on how far are we going to retrace here. right? Are we going to be re-evaluating here? Is this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? Oh, shit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're just doing kind of a tight zigzag. Let's go to an 8 and take a look at that. There's an 8. Oh, let's go to a 4. So let's label it up, see what it looks like. I mean, this is, I mean, I get this, would this be the ultimate bellwether for the market? I suppose you can make a case for that, certainly for the tech sector. 1, 2, 3, 4, clean impulse. A pretty big kick in the 4, but we don't overlap the 1, so pretty. So why would you think anything other than a 5 here into an, well, in this case, right? It's either 1, 2 or A, B. So let's play that forward. Okay, if that's A, B, well, sure looks like I'm working towards a C here. Let's take that up a degree. We'll go to micro here. Put this one over in blue and get down to submicro. Okay, so candidate, right? Just that. Okay, A, B, working on a C here, right? Nice sharp zigzag. Right, channeling candidate, right? We got a candidate here for some channeling to work this. All right, now same thing. So we know, right? There's a very high probability here that these wave relationships will maintain. So things that you would want to check for. Well, how do we do here? 2 to the 3, right? That's golden zone. So do you see now how the Elliott starts to fit in? Now that's high for a 4. You wouldn't be hoping for the 4 to go that high. But the fact that it does, and it stops at the golden zone with a bit of a skinny 1. Well, again, here's the result, right? It literally tags the target and kicks, right? So you know there's no dispute about what that is, right? There's your algo right there, and then it does it again, and it does it again. Right, great example for any of you that are new to this members. That should be like, well, of course, duh, right? Of course it did. Oh, how do we do here? Just out of curiosity, this looks like you might have had it again. There it is, right? So A swings down to the B. B hits a golden zone. Here's the first target, right? We stutter at the first target. It's got additional legs, right? Keeps going. But we know what starts it right there. Okay, what are we doing here? We're going to come down for the 5 for the C. Is that the Y to finish the correction? We're going to end up with something flattish. Right, you can certainly make a case for it. Little complexity here. Now, this is a little sloppy here, but it looks like you've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to finish it. So working backwards, 5, 4, 3, right? Do we have a, I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This looks like more like it's a, oh, shit. Let's see here. Do we have to do, I think we do. All right, let's, shit, I'm getting long-winded here already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's go. 4. Yeah, we can get that done. Yay. Oh shit, here, hang on. Let's go. Let's see if we can simplify this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's make it A, B, C. All right, that looks pretty solid here. You could really do this a couple of different ways. 1, A, B, C, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. The 1, 2, right? Pick your pivot. I'm inclined to tell you I don't think it matters much, right? At this point, as we sit with the remainder of the swing structure now established, so calling this a W or a 3 or what I'm pretty sure we don't have is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I think that's too much of a stretch. Oh, I suppose it's possible, but I think that seems unlikely. So here we sit with this kind of happening here as the W again here for the X. Oh, probably reasonable to look at all of this as liquidity, all right, as we've come back up here to grab some of that. So if we return back up here, I'd be cautious. Do we need to go this low? I don't know that we do. All right. So let's go back to the daily and think about where that would put us. If we can do this here and get our 4 in over here, kind of in line with this structure. And of course we could come lower. right? But just working on the count. Now there could be a WXYXZ to get it lower, right? To be more consistent, right? When I don't know that we're ready to declare the retracement, correction, bear market, whatever you want to call it. We'd have a couple of good days, of course. We shall see. Okay, WXYXZ, or we're going to finish it down here via this nice little zigzag that's underway. I'd be surprised if we just did this and kept going. So maybe you got another X and then another leg, right? So we get a triple. Put it down here, more in line, right? So now you're more in line with the channeling, the Elliott channeling, and you'd be, I think closer to, oh shit, here, can I do it? I can't do it on a daily. We're looking for the retrace, we're looking for the retrace here. So just to put that back into context, so if I pull from the 2, come here, from the 2 through the 3, that might be too much. Maybe we don't need that much. We get something along like that. Coming out of 38. Well, there's a little demand zone right there. Oh shit, I'd use the whole thing. So if we come down here, you can make a case for that. So this lets the bear resolve. Now, of course, we've got employment numbers coming, and the market's likely to be volatile. But it's pretty much a so far not a radically unusual correction. I guess we could say it that way. Now, if we start to accelerate down here in some of this, and we go into something like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'll be back here reevaluating. But right now, I don't think you need to. Right now, the count says, okay, we're working on the correction, but we're working on the correction of this 3. We're working on the correction of this impulse. 3, 4, 5. Right? It's a little different, but not that unusual. I mean, this is COVID, right? That's COVID low right there. That's what followed. Okay, guys. I think that gives us a fairly good look. Anything down in this range, boy, if you can come in down closer to 100, I mean, even you split it down here and say, if I can get in between the 30 and the 23 and the 38, I'd be interested there. Just a question of how you want to approach it. Do you want to park some capital here? You want to do options? You could sell puts, right? I wouldn't do it uncovered, but you could sell a put spread as the market. That's the advantage of selling a put spread. The market's coming down. The puts are the out of the money puts are getting expensive. So maybe you sell down here. You sell a put spread here. Use that. I'd do it under that. Maybe you're selling, in this range, maybe a 5 or 10 point spread, right? Give you a little credit. You wider the spread, the more you get in your credit, and then use that to maybe buy a call. And if you're right, the call appreciates in value, the puts decrease in value, right? The one you sold closer to the market, right? That will be, you'll recoup more here than you'll pay for the hedge, right? And then you'll get some delta value there if you get it. A couple of different ways to play that. So there you go. Okay, let me pause there, and I'm going to keep going here. So back to you in a second.